Hi, welcome to video number 34, Downloading Elevation Data. Elevation data is incredibly important. It helps us visualize topography, and it helps us to make explicit calculations about the landscape. Things like watershed area, or hill slope, or aspect. All these things that might be really important for modeling of vegetation, modeling of climate, or geomorphology, for example. And what I love about elevation data is when we visualize it, it is just an amazing way to think about landscapes and geology. Here's a nice shaded relief image of the Champlain Valley, Montreal and the Montérégie Hills up here, the Adirondacks here, and the White Mountains over here. There's a ton of detail, a ton of information you can learn about Earth history just by analyzing digital topographic data. So this video is really the first in what's going to be a series of videos that basically go through the nuts and bolts of how you might work with digital elevation data and how you might set up a basic elevation layer in your own GIS project. And we're going to do this in the context of a problem, and our problem is going to be computing the volume of Mount Shasta. So the end result of all these videos is going to be a volume estimate of the volcano Mount Shasta. So in this video we'll download the data, and the next couple of videos we'll convert it to an integer form, we'll mosaic and clip the rasters, then we'll project the rasters, and then we'll move on to visualizing. We'll make a hillshade, we'll make a contour map, and then the last two videos we'll perform some calculations on the data. I'll show you how to use the profile tool, and then ultimately we'll, I think, use raster calculator to make some volume estimates of Mount Shasta. So if you're in the class, you need to do all these videos. If you're just out there on your own, you may want to pick some of these videos that have the tools you need. So digital elevation data is widely available in many places on the internet, and we will start out by just a quick Google search. We'll type in download SRTM data national map, and this is going to hopefully bring us to the national map viewer, which is maintained by USGS. We'll go to the new launch page, and then we'll click this link, download GIS data. This is going to bring us to the actual viewer itself. I'm now going to just use this navigation hand to get myself over to Mount Shasta. Here it is right here. Okay, so I'm centered up on Mount Shasta. I'm going to download my data using a box. So I'm going to click on box, and then I'm just going to draw a rectangle, something like this. And that's specifying the area for which I want data. Then I'm going to click on elevation products, and here's a variety of elevation products. Now these elevation data products are shown in terms of arc seconds. So an arc second is basically 1/60th of a degree of latitude or longitude. And so a third of an arc second would be 1/180th of a degree of latitude or longitude. So as it turns out, a 1/3 arc second turns out to be roughly a 30-meter pixel, and a 1/9 arc second is going to turn out to be roughly a 10-meter pixel. So we're going to choose the 1/9 arc second. It's going to be something close to 10-meter pixels. It's a pretty high resolution layer available here. Then I'm going to click Find Products, and it's going to show me a couple options. And I'm going to choose these two options, the first two, NED 19 41 by 50, 122 by 25, and then the other one, NED 19 41 by 50, 122 by 50. These first two options, these are all part of the same DEM. They're just broken into 4 different tiles for the sake of keeping the file size pretty limited. Okay, and so I'm going to pick these first two, and I'm going to click, I'm going to add this to the cart here, and I'm going to add this to the cart. Then I'm going to go to View My Cart, And I'm going to click download, and then I'm going to save this into my course folder. So in this case, this would be mapped to your GIS folder. So you should have a personal folder set up, and it should look something like this. Lab 6 Eberswalde tutorial, and then within tutorial you may have elevation, and I'm going to save this. It's going to be a zip file, so I'll save that one, and then I'm going to go and actually now download the second one also. I'm going to save it into that same folder. Now keep in mind, once these zip files are done downloading, you'll need to extract all the individual files, probably using 7-zip. So before you watch the next video, you should have extracted all the sub-files out of these zip files using 7-zip. And of course, you got to wait for them to download first. So once you're all set, join me for the next video where we'll convert this floating point data into integer data. Thanks, guys.